We are finishing up K-1, words 11 to 20 today. So we're in the Black Learning Log, and we're on K-1, column 2. And you can pick white or blue to do your words. Let's review a couple phonograms real quick. You ready? E-double-E, always says E. I, three-letter I. E-F-A. Ow, o, oo, out, for, tour, famous. Ow, o, oo, Back to E. Okay. The first word is the word male. God created male and female after his own image. This is not the same word as go get the mail, but those two words are homophones, right? Not homographs. Same spelling, different, or same sound, different spelling. So this is male. God created male. A boy is a male. Okay, so let's say it together. Male. M-A-L. Do it with me. Male. M-A-L. Say it as you write it, please. Sound it out.
M-A-O.
Why do we have a silent E? What are our red markings? Is it the vowel sound changes because of the E? That's right. So what markings am I doing?
Underline the A once, underline the E twice, and put an arc over the two.
Very good. I like my kids to print on the line first, do their red markings, and then practice their cursive. Remember, M could be a bump letter, but I typically do them as uphill letters here. So if you're doing the bump, it's going to go like this. Okay. Uphill, you're going to go uphill to midline, straight to baseline, bump at midline, straight to baseline, bump at midline, and a tail. Your A is a clock letter, stop at 2 o'clock, come back around to connect, and straight to baseline. If I don't touch my tail to baseline, what is M-O-L-E? Mole. I have a mole on the side of my cheek. Okay, male, as in a boy. L is a loop letter, all the way to the top, all the way to baseline. E is a little loop letter. Loop at midline, back to baseline, pick up your pen. So we've got a male. Now, can girls wear pants? Yes, they can, but that is typically the sign for a boy. Okay? The next word is a very similar word. The second word, the 12th word, is female. The woman is called female because she comes from the male. Female. Ready? Fee. E. Male. M-A-L. How many syllables? Two. Let's do it together. Female. First syllable fee. E. Second syllable male. M-A-L. Say it as you write it, please. Okay, sound it out.
E-L.
Let me put a little more space between these syllables here. What red markings? First, let's talk about that E. Why is it not female? Because remember, our rule says A, E, O, and U can say A, E, O, and U at the end of a syllable, right? So this would be the example, lazy. This would be example, me, to. Actually, it would be O. So, or unit. Oh, actually, that's a different one. I don't know why she's the first one there, but it could be unit without that one. Okay, so that's why we can say fee and not the.
So do we underline E?
So let's underline that E. And then what's our other markings?
Vowel sound changes because of the E.
We've got that silent E. The vowel sound changes because of the E. So we underline the A once, the E twice, and F between them. I'm also looking at something else. Now, not all women wear dresses, but that's just a sign for it, right? What else are we going to do with these two words?
Bracket them.
Bracket them because they're similar.
Has it ever occurred to you that the girl is longer than the boy?
No.
You connect the
Remember,
boy
our
and
F is a loop letter, and you can loop under as well. Okay, so let's do it. You can't sit there, puppy. Come on, over here. All right, ready for F? Loop all the way to the top, loop under the line, back to baseline, and a tail. Our E is a little loop, loop at midline, back to baseline. M, you could do a bump letter, but I'm doing an uphill, so uphill to midline, straight down, bump at baseline, back to midline, bump at midline, back to baseline, and a tail. I did that backwards. Straight down, bump at midline, back to baseline, bump at midline. Our A is a clock letter. Stop at 2 o'clock, come back around and connect all the way to the baseline. And then our L is a tall loop to the top, and our E is a little loop at midline. Male and female. The next word is round. 'Twas midnight on the mountain brown, the cold round moon shone brightly down, said Lord Byron. That's pretty. Round. Okay, remember we have a couple phonograms that can say ow, right? We're going to use this one today, our ow, o, oo, round. Ready? Round. R, ow, d. Okay, say it with me. Round. R, ow, d. Say it as you write it, please. And it's not duh. Okay, spell it for me.
R, ow, d.
Good. What red markings?
Underline ow.
Underline our ow. Do we need any numbers?
No, it's the first sound.
It is the first sound. Ow, o, oo, Very good. For our cursive, R is an uphill letter. Uphill to midline, down the shelf, and back to baseline. O is a clock letter. Stop at 2 o'clock. Come back around and connect. And a ponytail. Keep it up here. Our U is an uphill, but since we're already halfway up the hill, we're just going to bump at baseline, back to midline, back to baseline, and a tail. Your N can be a bump letter if you want to, but I'm going to stick with an uphill. So uphill to midline, straight to baseline, bump at midline, back to baseline, and a tail. And our D is a clock letter. Stop at 2 o'clock, come back around, straight to the top, back to baseline, and a tail. Round. Now we have a very similar word. The word is around. When there's a lot of it around, you'll never want it very much, said Peg Bracken. Right? You think, oh, I could go for the beach. Then you're at the beach, you're like, I'm so sick of the sand in my socks. Right? Oh, when I was a kid, my uncle worked for a candy factory. Oh, we always wanted candy. Then we went to his house and it was like, oh, we ate too much candy. Okay? Around. Too much of it around. Ready? Around. How many syllables?
2.
2. First syllable, Second syllable, round. Round. Now, this rule that we just went over said that A can say A at the end of a syllable. So could someone say around, go around the block? They could, right? We say around. but you could say around too. Here we go. Ready? Do it with me. Around. First syllable second syllable round. Round. If it helps you say a round, so you remember it's not you, right? Because you could also say O could say If it helps you, R-O-U-N-D. Oh, if it's round. Say it as you write it. Let's say it a round, just to keep our rules. B. Okay, so let's sound it out. A. R. Ow. What markings?
Underline ow.
Underliner A and underliner ow. And what else do you see that you need to bracket? Round and around. Round and around and round and around and round and around and goes. Okay, let's do some cursive. A is a clock letter. Stop at 2 o'clock, come back around and connect, back to baseline. R is an uphill to midline, down the shelf, back to baseline. O is a clock letter, stop at 2 o'clock, come back around and connect, and a ponytail. U, you're already up midline, so all you're going to do is bump at baseline, back to midline, bump at baseline, and a tail. And you could do a bump letter, but I'm going to do an uphill to midline, straight to baseline, bump at midline, and a tail. And D is a clock letter. Stop at 2 o'clock, come back around all the way to the top, all the way to baseline. Around. The next one is seen. No man has seen God at any time, says 1 John 4:12. Seen. Ready? Seen. S-E-N. Do it with me. You're shaking the whole camera there. Ready? Do it with me. Seen. S-E-N. Seen. Say it as you write it.
Seen.
As you sound it out.
S-E-N.
Please don't say the word names. We're doing the sounds. Ready? Sound it out. S-E-N. What red markings?
Underline E.
Underline E, double E. Always says E. Very good. Remember, for our cursive, our S's are kind of funky. Let me show it to you before we start. It's an uphill at a point with a little dress on. So you go uphill to a point at midline. And then instead of straight down for a triangle, you're going to kind of loop it around a 9 and swing back out like a little skirt. E's are little loops. Loop at midline, back to baseline. One more time. Loop at midline, back to baseline. Your N, you could do a bump. I'm going to go uphill to midline, straight to baseline, bump at midline, and a tail. Seen. Seen. Very good. You are halfway there. Woohoo! Okay, the next one is summary. Can you give me a summary of the book you just read? Summary. We have our first 3 syllable. Summary. It is. Okay, do it with me. I'm sorry, let me do it first. Summary. First syllable, sum. Second syllable, ma. Last syllable, re. E. Let me think about that for 1 second. It should be I, right? So remember our rule 4 says that A, E, O, and U usually say A, E, O, and U at the end of a syllable. But if it ends in A, it could say ah, like ma and pa. Okay, that's why we got our ma. And then we also have I and Y usually say I, but at the end of a syllable it may say I, like cry. Summary. We might just add an E for this one. We might just say I, E, because that just really throws it off. But summer I. It's going to throw you off maybe, but that's how we're going to think to spell. Okay? Do it with me. First, summary. Rye. Summary. First syllable, sum. Second syllable, ma. Ah. Third syllable, rye. I. No, yeah, like rye bread, but without the silent E. All right, sound it out as you write it, please. Good. Okay, so spell it for me. Ah. Oh, that was hard. What red markings? All first sounds? Yes. First sounds here. She has that one underlined. And I don't think she's saying some may re.
Some marry, because it's a.
Yeah, it's a.
Some marry.
Oh, ma. You're right. So that will be, well, If we're going with that, then we could underline it and put a 3. Some ah.
Yeah, summary.
She doesn't have a 3 there on her book. Because we also have the one that could say ah at the end, right? Like ma, pa. And then what do you have for this ry? She doesn't have any underline there either. Summary. But every syllable has to have a vowel, so that y is not a consonant here. That's to be summer e.